so that I can. Chris, what's on the wheel? Where did it land?
This Heat fans thinking they could change Jimmy Butler.
Well, I really didn't say that either, but
that's just my hot take.
Okay.
We can talk Jimmy Butler though. That's what it landed on.
Okay.
It's a big wheel.
It's just, I mean, Jimmy Butler. How many marriages is this? And we thought we were the one that could change him. I mean, this is Heat fans just thinking that the culture and everything. I mean, Jimmy is who we thought he was.
Okay, hold on a second. So you mentioned marriage. The number one reason for divorce is money. It's finances. It's the number one reason people get divorced. The number one reason that people go from loving to hating is divorce. From love to hate. I will get to the macro criticisms that everyone wants of Pat Riley. He has absolutely failed over the last decade in a way that cannot be argued to get Jimmy Butler better help that he needed. He has been cursed by the fact, and Jimmy Butler was too, they're very good at making overachievers. But what do overachievers do? They achieve to the maximum of what their ceiling is, and Jimmy Butler's was never better than it was here. It was a spectacular relationship. It worked while it lasted. Jimmy Butler bailed Pat Riley out of Whiteside and Waiters. Of Whiteside and Waiters, Jimmy Butler covered a lot over the last 5 years for the Heat. Spoelstra covered a lot of for the Heat. But also, Jimmy Butler was the best Jimmy Butler here, and no one in the history of the Heat, other than LeBron, has done more for themselves by virtue of coming through the land of overachievers. When you carry Max Strus and Vincent to the finals, you get rewarded for that. So we will get to the criticism of the moment, because I know Heat fans are mad. And they should be, because they've been passed in the conference by a whole bunch of people who are more aggressive. And we all saw how close Boston and Miami were. We saw the changes Boston made. And we've seen Kyle Lowry. We've seen very little since Chris Bosh had to leave the team other than getting Jimmy Butler. And so what ends up happening to the Miami Heat, we all know more than ever the last 5 years, they're great at making players better. We know it in a way that we don't really know it about any other team. Wow, I've seen for 5 years how they've got a bunch of overachievers. But the blessing is now the curse, because the overachievers, look at who they are. Show me all the high draft picks, because all those players are at their ceilings. I know Bam's been terrible this year, but Tyler and Jimmy and Duncan, they're all of them at what is their drafted ceilings. Like, they're the best that they can be. They can't be any better than that. That's what the Heat do for you. Pat Riley gets credit for that. He gets credit for the culture, for Spo and all that stuff. But he has failed to get Jimmy Butler what he needed, and this is punctuational disaster at the end, because now his value is nuked, and he got checkmated by player empowerment, which is something that began to happen in 2014 when LeBron surprised him and left. And everything that's happened with player power since ends with Jimmy Butler being able to say, hey, Pat, bleep off. I've got the players union behind me. You didn't give me my extension. I've been upset about this for a while. I've been upset and I've been quiet, but now I want my money. And I understand why anyone in America who watches basketball would get mad at Jimmy Butler. What do you mean you got no joy for basketball at this $50 million because you need the next $50 million? Like, what do you mean you've got no joy for basketball on a contract when you're already being paid $50 million?